What's up everyone, Doyler here, coming at you guys with a quick video on next week's events, as well as some news and update information that I wanted to cover briefly. So, first of all, we've got a Prophet Orb Summit event next week. This was in line with the schedule, so nothing too surprising there. That said, the 60 summon hero is Heartwatcher. This is great, especially for a lot of newer or free-to-play players. Heartwatcher is basically required for PvE at this point, and I highly recommend you get her to 10 star. This is going to speed up how quickly she's able to stack those marks for you. 9 star is good, but it's not really ideal. If you can get her to 10 star eventually, I highly recommend it. Past that, it's more endgame optimization. You don't really need to worry about it. And as we all expected and predicted, the 80 summon hero is our boy Sherlock. This is great, especially for those of you who've been saving up those orbs. I know I've got 320 on my main account and plan on doing 4 loops for this guy. He's definitely, while not required, he's a top tier PvP hero. He's incredible in Aspen Dungeon. He can work in Steel Land as a Valentina replacement if you've already got that E5 penny. He's just all around a great hero and someone you'll want to have at one point down the road. Definitely use those orbs now if you've been saving them. This is the last Prophet Orb event that you will be able to complete if you want to save for Black Friday, unless you plan on spending. So if you want Sherlock, you can do up to 4 loops now and still be able to complete the Black Friday event, assuming that it is the same as last year's. Next up, we've got our Heroic Miracle event. This is the same event you've done before. Summon 3 5-star heroes from every normal faction, summon 2 heroes from the light and dark factions, and get your rewards. As she's been so many times, the final reward will be Belrain. This is a lot more common. Sherlock was a weird break from the normal reward system. While exciting, Belrain has been our girl a lot of times. I highly recommend finishing this, A, because it's easy, and B, because Belrain is still, arguably in my mind, the top PvP and PvE healer slash support. Ignis is looking really good for PvP healing, and there are other great buffers and debuff buffers, but you can't go wrong with a Belrain. She's a great first light hero to build, and she'll really round out your team, especially if you're having trouble in stuff like broken spaces or stuff like that. Next up, we've got another Ormus Workshop event. This will be the final Ormus Workshop event with new artifacts. So until we get new pay-to-win artifacts going forward, we will know the stats of all of these upgraded artifacts going forwards. So the first new one I want to cover is the Crown. This is a really interesting one, and I do want to see how it shakes up. I don't have any more information than you guys have, but I do know that Crown is a little rarer than the other ones. This means that either A, this is going to have to be a wildly overpowered upgrade to force people to combine their crowns, or B, this is going to be an upgrade that most people skip, at least for now. Personally, I've only got 1 crown on my main account, so it's not something that I'm too concerned about yet, but I could definitely see some cases for those of you running 1 crown Russell or 1 crown Garuda already in your lineups to maybe upgrade to the glittery version and see what it does. That said, with the new regression feature in Ormus Workshop, there's no reason not to try out these upgrades and then regress the artifact if it is not worth it in the end. You will get back all of the food you put in, so there's no real loss other than the temporary loss of not having both artifacts. The second one is the Wildfire Torch. And I also added a quick graphic for those of you who don't know what it does, since I haven't really covered it much on this channel, as I have 0 of them. This is mostly for the dot removal. It's pretty nice. I'd love to get one for Aspen Dungeon to help with those Oberon levels. Throw one of these on carry or someone like that and just breeze through it. That said, I know a lot of you don't really have 2 of these yet, but if you do, you may be looking to upgrade it. And it could be cool if it removed maybe mark damage, counter those carries, maybe work on all damage over time, so stop Russell arrows, stuff like that. Or if it could be used to break through stuff like upgraded A and Bs, maybe do all damage, something like that that can pop through the A and B damage reduction effect. Something like that could be awesome. I don't really know where they'll take it though, but that said, as we've seen in the past, any Ormus Workshop artifact has the potential to become incredibly powerful. I know that MSS isn't great yet, but I do think it's going to have a use at the higher Aspen Dungeon levels at the very least, as well as if huge single attack burst damage becomes prevalent in PvP in the future. So, next up we have the Midsummer Supplies event, and this is honestly one we haven't had before as far as I know, and it sounds fairly interesting. So the actual tweet says, purchase the corresponding supplies with gold to get Prophet Orbs and Hero Promotion Stones for 7 consecutive days. Top up and purchase the supplies to get 5-star shards and glorious relics for 7 consecutive days. So this sounds like one of those weekly events that either A is going to be based on gold we spend anywhere in the game, or B will have things we can buy with gold inside of it specifically that will give some rewards. More Prophet Orbs is always nice, especially during a PO event for those of you who are a little short on 1 or 2 loops that you're trying to do. Promotion stones for gold never hurts. But it also sounds like there will be some sort of pay-to-win functionality with that top-up and purchase the supplies. So I'm guessing, I don't know, $5, $10, $20 will get you the VIP mode, similar to the monthly carnival, events like that, in which you can get 5-star shards and relics. I will cover whether or not this is a good deal once it comes out. Don't really have any other information other than what they tweeted, but this does sound pretty interesting. At the very least, free-to-play Prophet Orbs and Promotion Stones are always a welcome benefit, and if they are reasonably priced, more pay-to-win relics will definitely help me. I know you guys saw my last video. I'm over 1,000 at this point, but don't worry, I do plan on doing some huge upgrades soon, so stay tuned for that video as well. First, I want to cover some updates and changes from last week that I didn't cover in any of these other videos. So first of all, they fixed the video recording issues in Trial of the Champion. So those of you that were having issues viewing your replays, that should be fixed now, so that's nice. They also enabled the display of the special artifact effects of promoted artifacts. So that's going to be in your actual bag slots. You don't have to wait for Ormus Workshop to see what an upgraded artifact will do. That's kind of nice, especially if you're wondering, you know, in between Ormus events, if you want to upgrade an artifact or not. And finally, they relocated the translation button. This is just next to that VIP button. I know briefly there was an issue in iOS where you couldn't translate VIP members. That's fixed now as well, so you should be good to go. Finally, the last thing I want to cover is the iOS issue. I've had a few people asking me questions about this, and I've seen a ton of chatter in other Discords, so I just wanted to touch on this briefly. So, Idle Heroes is no longer in the iOS App Store. So please do not log out of your account, do not uninstall it, try not to use a new phone, at least for the time being. The reason for this is Apple removed about 30,000 apps from Chinese-based companies due to a licensing issue. They have to agree to a new license and add it to their app, things like that. I'll include some links for you in the description if you want to check it out yourself. I've been dealing with issues in other games or other applications that I've used. That said, DH Games is actively working on this. It's nothing to be too worried about. It will be back in the iOS store. The only real issue is, in the meantime, you may have issues with purchasing. So if you did plan on spending any money during this heroic summoning event, please reach out to support just in case the event ends before they're able to get back in the iOS store. They may be able to extend the event or give you some sort of free compensation. So that's it for this video. I know it ran a little long, but I did want to give you my thoughts and feelings on a lot of these updates. If you enjoy the content, please hit those like and subscribe buttons down below, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.